other NBA news that I wanted to segue over into is injury news, Dave. Aaron Gordon was announced yesterday that Aaron Gordon will be missing 4 to 6 weeks of the NBA season. He suffered a sprained left ankle per Shams in the game against the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. While bringing the ball up to court, he limped to the locker room and was seen on crutches with a pretty swollen ankle after the game. This is a Magic team, Dave, that right now, if the playoffs were to start today, they would be just a game shy of being in the play-in tournament. So right now, everything is close. They're a game away from being in the play-in tournament, really a half a game away from being in the play-in tournament. They're 2 games back of being the 8th seed and being a playoff team that would be in that playoff tournament. How much is Aaron Gordon's absence the next 4 to 6 weeks going to hinder, because I think it is going to hinder the Orlando Magic playoff chances?
I think it hinders them 0%, Ricky.
Okay.
Because they're not a playoff team.
Okay.
Because they haven't been a playoff team.
Okay.
Because they lost their best player before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lost one of their top young rising stars shortly after the season started. Aaron Gordon is someone who, yes, he is a good but maybe underwhelming wing guy who is now in his prime, who has not lived up to the expectations that we all thought he was going to take another jump and be a 20, 10, and 5 kind of wing out there dominating the league. He's not that guy. He is a good defender. He's a good scorer at times. A little inconsistent, but he's always athletic.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't fucking matter because the Orlando Magic aren't a playoff team.
Yeah.
Like that's why this means nothing. This is a nothing burger to me.
Okay.
The Orlando Magic are a cursed team. That's what this means.
Mm-hmm.
That is another Magic player who goes down with another large injury. That is what I'm afraid of. If I'm on that team, like, the fuck is going on around here?
They had, Jonathan Isaac last year. You've got Markelle Fultz this year.
I mean,
now
yeah,
Gordon.
last year.
But last season. In the bubble, you have Jonathan Isaac. You have
in the last 6 months, they've lost, Isaac and Fultz. And now it's like...
Good news is, you know who's healthy to play today in their game? The guy you like, Chuma.
Chuma?
KK is...
Chuma's back again after his short injury?
He is healthy and ready to go. It was on Roto World that he'll be active for tonight's game.
I mean, he will get some minutes. If you're in fantasy, you pick up a Chuma KK like that.
Yeah.
He will get minutes now. I'm excited for that. But Vucevic is one man.
Yeah.
He is the most consistent, underrated center in the NBA. He gets you points. He gets you boards. He will shoot threes. He can facilitate. He can do everything. But he's an anchor of an empty boat. Like, you got Terrence Ross every other 3 nights popping off. Cole Anthony shoots about 20% from 3. That ain't going to fly. I mean, again, it's a young team. The expectations were if they were healthy, they could make some noise. Yeah, they are the opposite of healthy. They are the antithesis of unhealthy.
The reason why, for me, I was like, this is kind of a big deal, to where you say nothing. You say nothing burger. For me, I say something burger, because
what's that?
In my mind, you look at the bottom of the East, and it's like, it is so compact, and like how we talk about the top of the standings or middle of the standings, where we're like, everything's going to be smashed this year, to where it could be 2 games in between, like a couple of 3 spots.
I think it's 1 game between 3 and 8. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That's where I'm at this point. I think strength of schedule is a deciding, right? Or is it conference?
I think it's strength of schedule. Quote me if I'm
whatever. It's literally going to be a 1 game difference between 3 and 8. Like, that's how close this year is. It's so tight.
If you're thinking about that on the top, it's going to be the same on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, the expectations coming into this year for this team was, my high expectations would be, let's at least make the play-in tournament. Like, if this Orlando Magic team made the play-in tournament, that just gives you to, like, okay, then we have a chance to make some noise and maybe earn a playoff spot in the play-in tournament. Now, because of this injury and all the other ones that they do have, the Fultz one plays into this too. Like, I feel like they're going to be going from fighting with the Bulls, Knicks, Raptors, and Heat for the 2 play-in spots, to, hey, Washington and Detroit, move over on the bench. We're going to join you waiting for the draft. That's just how I see it, to where they would go from a team that, hey, we're keeping a game or two from this play-in spot. Maybe we can sneak in to, well, we're looking for the draft now. Like, there's no way we're going to make that play-in spot, because 4 to 6 weeks also, in case you're wondering, is if he comes back 4 weeks, basically it would be March 2nd. So no matter what, he's missing the rest of the first half, because there's no way I'm bringing him back Wednesday, March 3rd, if he is able to, just for one game before the All-Star break.
No, that would be unlikely.
No way we're seeing him until the earliest is the beginning of the second half. If not, it's around March 16th will be the return if he takes the full 6 weeks.
And the trade deadline is when again? Remind me.
The trade deadline, NBA trade, I think it's the end of March.
Okay.
I think it's like a week after that. Trade deadline is March 25th at a 2 p.m. Central cutoff.
So Chuma Okeke has till March 21st to decide if he is going to be the starter for this team moving forward. That's all this comes down to. Aaron Gordon was named, who has been floated around every free agent or every trade market, I should say. Someone who has value to multiple teams. He was someone who I think a lot of people would have liked to see, Kelly Oubre swap for previously. Hey, we don't like this guy. You guys are like underwhelmed, but at least you can get free of this situation. Like, I think he's someone, oh my God, could you imagine if the Nets found a way to make that deal happen? If the Nets could get AG, that team's already ridiculous. Like, that would be amazing for them. So no, this has not, I don't give a fuck about the playoffs. As the Magic as a team, you're going to fight to win games. Don't get me wrong. You're always going to try your best to win games. But at some point, the season is what it is, and 3 of your best 5 players are injured. 3 of your best 5 players are injured now. So I just don't see it happening, Yeah. I don't have faith in the team. I don't think they're a good enough team to beat out a lot of these teams who are underperforming. Like, do you think that the Miami Heat are a better team than they are? Yes. Like, that's, I want to have this conversation.
They should be a better team.
No, just fuck that. Not even shoulds. Are they a better team? The answer is yes. The problem right now is people are so overreacting to what we've seen in this very shortened season. The injuries, the COVID cases, the effects of COVID on these players. I think that there are so many teams who are
unless you're the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, that's it.
Memphis took a couple games off, and now they got a superpower where they can't fucking lose.
They've had the superpower since before. I'll have you know. They were good before. They were a playoff team before the COVIDs. Playoff team after the COVIDs too. But yeah, it's just people want to overreact, and I think that one of our favorite segments, Oakleys or Folkleys, is probably going to make a comeback this week. We're about to talk about a lot of teams in the NBA, because I think there's a lot of teams that on the standings are not where you would expect them to be 20 games into the season. So I think that would be a fun discussion, because I think this is a situation where you are on the side of upside and push for potential and growth, and I'm on the side of your team's fucked. Let the kids play. Like, if I'm not seeing a ton of minutes out of their young kids, then we're wasting our time here. Like the Orlando Magic tonight, I'm going to check in 60-64 with the Raptors, holding their own. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Chuma Okeke's got 10. He's a +9 overall. He's got 4 personal fouls, though, because he's a little aggressive out there on the defensive side. But he's doing great. Fournier is getting buckets, and Vucevic is getting buckets.
Just a little personal stat hunt here, Dave. How many assists does Cole Anthony have?
Cole Anthony?
Yeah. 1. Okay, that's not good. I thought I would have more than that, but that's besides the point.
He doesn't pass the ball, right? He's not really a point guard, as they would say.
He's a scorer. Last couple of games, he's been.
He's a short scorer.
It's just with this team before the injury, it was, and even before Markelle Fultz's, it was like this season, with everything so close, let's go for that play-in tournament. But like now after this, there's no way they're making the playoffs. There's no way they're making. So like, I would be on the side of you. Just let the kids play. If you lose, you lose, because that's what's going to happen when half your team or half of your starting lineup is injured.
Wait, that was months ago. Fuck that. I was like, why is Mo Bamba not playing still? Like, I don't get that shit. Like, he's active. I didn't see anything about him on the injury report, but like, Mo Bamba should be getting like 25 minutes a night. Like, I
Yeah.
understand Vucevic is a stud and like your best player by far,
Mm-hmm.
but Mo Bamba is now in his third year.
Yeah.
And we've seen as much Mo Bamba as we have Wendell Carter Jr.
Okay.
That's not a good sign.